Welcome to the last video of summer 2021. Oh my gosh, eh? I can't believe it. But
Today we'll give you an update on how the puppies are doing, the first row that we put in the orchard today, and all the other things that happened this week.
yeah. So puppies, I know, puppy update number one. They're huge. Like we go in, check out at night, coming back in the morning, and I swear they've doubled in size again. It's crazy. And they started opening their eyes already. Today's Saturday, yeah.
Right on time, earliest
Yeah.
date that they said they will open their eyes.
Well,
They are-
early actually.
yeah,
So
a
they
little bit
started
early, yeah.
the first eyes started opening about day 12.
Just a little bit. like
Yeah,
a squinting
yeah.
of it, but
And then-
it's so cool to see their little
Yeah,
eyeballs.
this morning was day 14, so week 2, and 2 of them have their eyes open, so you could see it when you bring them out of the trailer, and you could see them kind of looking around. It's so neat.
They are a lot more active. Like
Yeah.
when mom comes, they all kind of crawl to get to her a lot
Yeah.
more than they were before. So
A
they're
lot
starting to be-
noisier,
yeah,
too.
and noisier for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
And when they all come to feed on her belly, they just take up the entire, like they're now squished in like sardines trying to get to the teeth. It's crazy.
It's gonna be so hard to ignore them once they start
Yeah.
to see, because we have to,
Yes.
for training them properly, we have to put them in the pasture with the sheep, and we have to step away and ignore them. We can't
Yeah.
really spend too much time with them anymore.
Yeah, we
So-
don't want them bonding to us so
Yeah.
much, like coming to us for attention. We want them to see the sheep and the dogs and the cows as their family, not
Yeah.
us. So that's gonna be hard.
Yeah, but we want them to be really good LGDs. So
yeah,
that's what we have to do.
Yeah, but yeah.
What else is happening?
Well, Kinks got his apron back. Yay! That's very exciting. So we found a wonderful neighbor here in Udashenya who has had a heavy-duty sewing machine. We tried ourselves. My mom went and bought some canvas jean needles and some special thread to try, but it's too thick. It kept breaking needles. So I put a call out, and one of the wonderful neighbors.
Of course they had.
Yeah, exactly. Had a
We're in Utushenya,
yeah,
so-
had a sewing machine, and zip, zip, zip. She sewed it up in no time, and we came back and put Kink's apron on, and were able to let him out of the corral with the rest of the sheep. So we were able to move everyone to their next pasture, which was he was very excited. He was very happy to be back with the girls. Actually, he ran out for a snack first. He ran out, had a snack first, and then went and explored with the girls. So pretty funny. But this move was a very exciting one because we're now winding down and coming to the end of pasture season. So they're now making their way home to their winter pen. So they cross the road onto the orchard plateau, and they'll be eating their way through all the area that will be orchard soon. Making their last, it'll be probably only 4 or 5 more weeks or pasture moves until they're home for the winter. So that's that was exciting. All right, sheepies, shake the bucket, sheepies. There, in a line, probably a bit faster. Or even move to a different spot and spread some more. And then put a bit of manure there for us.
There is a lot of knapweed here that we have to work on, basically getting out and introducing, clovers and alfalfa and things that we want to have in the orchard.
Yeah.
I also acts as nitrogen fixer and
attract bees
and provide some forage for the animals. So we're gonna work on that, and as we're disturbing the soil, we're gonna reseed it.
Yeah.
Speaking of that,
yes,
we started the first row of the orchard. This
very
is like we're
exciting.
standing. Yeah, so
very exciting.
Yes.
Broke ground.
Yes, we had to work a little bit with the tractor because at some point in the past, I don't know exactly the history and when this happened, but they did try to do a tree planting in this field, and they used mounding techniques. Probably brought a mini excavator or something, and they basically kept digging and then mounding the ground. So this. But the tree planting, I think, didn't work because none of the trees here survived, and it's probably because the soil is too sandy. So
mounding they typically mound in areas where you have a high water table, or the water doesn't go through the soil fast enough. So you want to mound to give different planting areas. So trees that don't like the water, they can sit on top of the mound and stay drier, whereas trees that, like a spruce or something that is happier with a bit more saturated soil, can be lower down.
Yeah.
But I guess, yeah, it didn't work that well
Where
here.
you wanted to slow down the water so it has a chance to soak in, but we don't have
Right.
that problem here.
No.
Like we pour some water and then we watch it go into the ground.
Yeah.
Right? So it's very porous here.
Yeah.
So anyways, the field's still empty, but the mounds are still
Yeah.
here. And then when we go walk, you constantly, tripping over these mounds, and it's really hard. So we thought, if you're planting the orchard, we should do it right from the beginning. So I use the box scraper. I think that's the best tool for this job. Kind of evenly distribute the topsoil and not go too deep, so not disturb it too much. Just run a few passes and spread the topsoil. And so we got a pretty nice even rows to put our trees in. And then we went ahead with the 10-meter spacing, which we found by looking at the satellite images from the heritage orchards. So we have still heritage orchards around here. I looked at how the cultivars were spacing the trees, and they were going with the 10-meter spacing.
We found the information in books as well that
Yeah.
the cultivars use the 10-meter spacing.
When you're planting, it seems like a lot of spread, but we are going to fill in the space with perennials and shrubs. And in the rows, we also will cultivate annuals or perennials, asparagus, garlic, things like that in the rows. So actually the spacing works really well for us, and it allows us to change and modify the plan if we have to a little bit, put different access in different locations. If we put everything dense next to each other, we are going to eventually run into problem as well, but it also really limits us what we can do in the meantime. So I think I'm feeling pretty confident with this spacing.
Yeah.
Now that we put a few trees in, it seems right.
Yeah, I think so. I think it'll work
Yeah.
really well. And we oriented the rows north-south as well, so that was something we flipped and flopped about what to do, but I think it'll work best.
We did a lot of research on that as well.
That was a tough one.
Yeah, and we couldn't find consistency in the heritage orchards.
Yeah.
It seemed like they were almost going with the north-south, but in some places there was a bit of variation based on the axis, like where the road was. Maybe they went parallel to the road. But more or less, a few degrees off, but more or less most orchards were north-south. And that the advantage of that is, when you get the sun coming in, it can penetrate to the whole row and then slowly distribute to all the trees in the row, as opposed to if you put the rows east-south,
East-west.
east-west, sorry, yeah, east-west, then that will put too much shade, like the front rows would put too much shade, and then to the back rows. So that will make things more complicated, and we have to do a different design.
Yeah.
So we think this design will work really well for this area, and we also looked at the wind direction and how that will influence everything, and everything checks pretty good.
But we'll know. I mean, that's why we're only doing a few test rows, because we don't know for sure.
Yeah,
so
we don't know until we try.
Yeah,
So
educated guesses, and then we'll try this and see how things do over winter and through next season, and then we can change our plans based on what Mother Nature decides is the best way.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
One reason we're really excited about fall, besides the lack of bugs and other things, is it's mushroom season. So, typically the last couple weeks of September are mushroom season, or actually they've already started. And now that we've had a few beautiful rains and some sun is expected in the forecast, we're really excited to continue mushroom picking. We've already started just looking around a little bit here and there, but we're gonna forage a bit more, and we have relatives here that are really good, with identifying mushrooms, so that's a learning experience for us. We know some basic ones, but we're really excited to expand our knowledge about mushrooms, especially in this area. It's just prime mushroom picking area,
and it's a huge world out there.
Oh
There's
my gosh,
so many mushrooms out there that are actually edible, and you'll be learning about all of them.
And the ones that aren't, which is unfortunate, because it seems like there's more that aren't that are, but whatever.
Yeah, it's so exciting always you find a mushroom and then you look it up and
big.
This mushroom is known to be slightly deadly.
Yeah.
This week also I took a trip to Surrey to attend Grow West Coast Horticulture Expo. So it's a big horticultural show with a lot of different nurseries and other businesses associated with nurseries. They go there and they have demos and booths with different information. So it was really helpful. I found it really useful. I went there, spent quite a bit of time there, talked to different organizations. There were some government organizations talking about different programs they have. Also talked to a few different nurseries, I made some connections with other bigger nurseries. So because we're just starting and we want to have a small nursery, it's really good to make some connections to see, if you can find a niche in the industry. But I also one of big motivation for me to go down to Surrey is I found this Persian family online that they had a bunch of Persian cultivars. So the father in the family, he had passed away, but he had a horticulturist friend, and they collected a bunch of the Persian heritage cultivars. So I'm really excited. I started talking to them, and they said, we wanted this to go to a good home, and so I told them our story and how we were trying to create a heritage orchard and bring back the cultivars that were that are very good, and so they also they are really connected to the idea, and they were really interested. So they kept all those for me. And I've been talking to them back and forth for a couple of months to try to find the time to go, and then finally made this arrangement. I went there, and I picked up pretty large, actually. This is a Persian quince. So there's a quince in Canada that's very common, but this is a cultivar that I really like. It's really good eating and cooking, for cooking also, but it's super fragrant. That's what I really like about it. And beautiful tree as well. So I hope transplanting went good. It took me like almost 40 minutes to dig it out of the ground. I had to eventually resort to some sawing, but we got it out and transplanted it. So obviously all the trees we plant are not going to be this big. This is an exception, but I found it, and they needed to remove it from their yard, so I got it here. Also got a couple of plums, green gage plums that are relatively large. Transplanted those as well from them. But the reason I really went there it was because of the Cornelian cherries. So that's the tree I really wanted. That's how I found them in the first place. I was looking for Cornelian cherries, and they had some of the Persian cultivars of the Cornelian cherry. So if you don't know, Cornus moss or Cornelian cherry, better not lose that one.
Birds will get it.
Yeah. So I'm super excited about this.
Yeah, very excited.
Yes.
Ask him about Cornelian cherry. But sit down and get a cup of tea.
So it's actually not related to cherries at all. It's in the Cornus
dogwood
genus, I guess. And so there are many different cultivars of Cornelian cherry that taste slightly different. So when you find a Cornelian cherry, it doesn't necessarily mean you get the same tasting fruit. Just like any other, you have different cherries, and you have different sour cherries. So same thing with these, but they're very little known in Canada. People don't really look at them. Like in in Iran and in Turkey and in Russia, these were very well known. People eat them. You can buy them in markets. But here people don't really know them, and they're really good for preserving as well. You can do a lot of different things with them. They taste very good if they're ripened on the tree, and that's another reason probably they're not popular here.
They don't sit long.
Yeah, they don't sit very long. Even ours, they started to ferment a little bit.
Yes.
We had some of them in the bag, so we found a few that are still good. So we're gonna do a little taste test.
Okay. My favorite part.
Okay.
Take one.
Grab one, and then grab one. I'll grab one that's pretty firm. Okay, so that's what they look like. Like almost the shape of an olive.
And they're soft.
Yeah, so they actually almost a replica of an olive.
That's
because the seed
away.
Also looks like an olive seed, but the taste is nothing like olive.
Yeah, it's hard to describe.
Yeah, so the pit is like almost like an olive.
And the texture is kind of like a really really ripe plum, I guess. Really soft and
texture.
mushy.
Yeah.
The flavor is really mild.
It's got a really
flowery.
Yeah,
flowery flavor.
A little bit has a hint of pomegranate in it. I noticed a little
and a little tartness.
Yeah, little tart. And these ones are super ripe, so they're less tart than maybe a little bit less ripe Cornelian. These ones are they were picked under the cherry, basically just shaking under the tree, shaking the tree, and then they fall, and then we just pick them.
Pretty big seed.
Yeah, really really nice eating when they're like this. And if you like sour fruit, they will be even good just before they ripen. But really high in vitamin C. they're really considered a very medicinal fruit as well. And it grows really well in our climate. Dogwood already grows all over this place, so we know this will probably also do very well. Very close to dogwood.
Yeah.
So yeah, super
Excited to
excited.
see
We
how
put a
that
bunch
goes.
down, and I also have my good friend Jed from Elderberry Grove. He also has been growing a bunch of Cornelian cherries from seed. We don't know what they're gonna taste like, but he's already keeping them for me, and I'm picking them up next week. So or in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So I'll bring those as well, and then we have more for cross pollination. You need 2 different cultivars to cross pollinate for best fruiting. So I'm really excited to have the 2 available. Yeah.
That'll be fun.
Yeah. What are we planting next?
Raspberries?
Raspberries.
Yeah.
Right. The Walter
Yes.
is keeping a bunch for us.
Yes.
So yeah, we're preparing another row, and
We're very lucky to have family with beautiful raspberries. Yeah.
Yeah, so good.
He's had forever. Yeah.
we kept eating them all,
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
summer. Yeah.
We're lucky to help sample them all summer. So.
sample
Okay. Yeah.
like
We ate. Yeah. We ate a
10
lot.
pounds at a time. Yeah.
But,
Yeah,
so we'll be
very
planting that.
prolific and very delicious.
And big, nice big raspberries. Yeah. So we'll be. Yeah. You'll be planting that next week.
Yes.
And he'll be coming. He'll be coming.
We're
Helping.
planning. Yes, he's coming to help us as well, which is really exciting.
I think that about wraps up this week. Yeah, thank you again for joining us in another video, the last of the summer. And yeah.
Yeah, please feel free to like and subscribe and share the video.
Yes.
Comment. I really appreciate the comment. So if you like it, make it, write a comment for us, and we will try to get you updated again after what's happening here next week.
The first video of fall.
First video,
yeah, stay
it's
tuned.
gonna be busy with lots happening. So
Yeah, there
stay
is.
tuned.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye.